Hey, good morning, guys. I hope you guys are having a good day. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World and the Black Business School. And I want to say good morning to everybody. And also, I want to say that I hope you guys are having a great day. I hope your life is giving you everything that you want it to give to you. I also want to encourage you to be happy today. I want to encourage you to pursue your dreams. I want to encourage you to reach your potential and believe in yourself. Never give up on yourself. Go for your goals, all those good things, right? Because that's really the secret. If you ever want to have an amazing life, find out what you love and pursue that every day, and then every day becomes like a big love affair where you're having lots and lots of sex with your dreams and your objectives in life and your fantasies and everything else. So I want to encourage you guys to just go for it, whatever it is. Anyway, it's morning now at the time of this recording. You may be watching the recording, and you may be watching it live. Anyway, I want to also welcome you guys to drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. If you are Black and intelligent, then this is the place for you. If you're not Black and intelligent or don't want to be intelligent, then you may want to get the fuck out, because this conversation will probably be over your head. So anyway, let me first of all just say hello to everybody who is on the channel. I see Andrew McGibbon is the first one in here. Looks like the notifications haven't gone out on YouTube yet. What's going on Instagram? Instagram is the real Boyce Watkins, the real Boyce Watkins. If you want to follow me on the gram, let me see here. I see you guys on Your Black World. What's going on? Somebody said, he said, was it the Wall Street lawyer? Hey, how are you doing, sister? I look forward to talking to you. I love you in a non-sex Black power way. It's okay. It's all right. Just say I love you. I won't take any offense to that at all. I will not call the Me Too police on you for sexual harassment. How dare you tell me that you love me? How dare you tell me that you think that I'm awesome and attractive and everything else? I'm playing. So anyway, shout out your city. Shout out what city that you're from. I would love to hear what city you're from. What's going on, Heart the Artist and Mark Green and Naima and Son the Great and Antonio Kendall. What's up from Atlanta? I see Miami. Ken's from Miami. Sending Harlem love. That's what's up. Yeah, I saw my friend Damon Dash today on something on the internet, and Dame's from Harlem. So much big shout out to Harlem. We'll actually be in New York on the 27th. If you want to come to a really great investment seminar that you're going to love, go to drboycenewyork.com. Spell the whole word out, New York. drboycenewyork.com. You can actually get a pass. It's a day-long seminar with a bunch of wealth builders gathered in a room, and we spend the whole day literally in a small group setting, exclusive group setting, just talking about wealth building strategies and what it means and how it works and all this other stuff. And I pretty much just dump my PhD on you, and you guys can then take it from there. I'll show you how to build economies within your own family, how to build a family business and a legacy that's going to last the next 100 years. We go through all of that, and it's going to be really, really amazing. So drboycenewyork.com. Hit the thumbs up button and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when we go live. I see the notifications are going out finally on drboycetv.com. Hello, David K. and Tanya Williams from Ohio. David's out of London. Terry Williams, good to see you too. All right, Terry Williams, is that the Terry Williams from who wrote Black Pain, or is that another Terry Williams? Either way, you're special no matter who you are. Terry Williams wrote a book that actually I thought about today. I kid you not, I thought about this book today, Black Pain, because Terry has a saying that she uses where she said, hurt people hurt people. And that actually leads to the topic that I wanted to kind of cover real quick with you guys is the movie The Joker. Now, has anybody seen the movie Joker? You give me a yes or no if you saw the movie Joker. Okay, Jojo, I see you in Paris. Paris is a beautiful city, by the way. Who's seen the movie The Joker? Give me a yes or no if you've seen the movie The Joker. Give me a yes or no. Pierce, I'm not going to talk about precious metals right now because this is not the scope of this discussion. If you want to talk about financial topics, go to theblackfinancialchannel.com, THE. That's theblackfinancialchannel.com. That's where we do financial stuff all day long, every day. So right now, this is not quite a financial topic, but everything ultimately comes back to money. Okay, somebody says, yes, I saw it yesterday. Okay, all right, so I see some yeses. I see a lot of nos. It's an interesting movie. It's, as far as white movies go, I recommend it. I thought it was very, very good. Now let me ask you guys this: did you like it? Give me a yes or no. If you saw the movie, did you enjoy it or not enjoy it? Like, what do you think? Give me a yes or no if you liked it or didn't like it. So I'd love to see your thoughts on this. Okay, so because I'm gonna tell you, I liked it. I thought the movie was good, and I heard a lot of the concerns about, the fact that, the movie kind of profiles and glorifies the mindset and the mentality of mass shooters like that. That's what the Joker kind of does. I don't know. I saw it. I went to go see the movie because I was intrigued by the trailer. I also went to see the movie because I follow the Marvel and DC enough to know that Marvel typically sucks at making making most of their comic book films. I said, well, maybe they're going to get it right this time, and actually maybe they hit the right mark, because Marvel, or it's not Marvel, sorry, DC's films tend to be dark. They tend to be very dark. And the Joker, it don't get much darker than the Joker, right? And I said, this is actually quite brilliant that they're going to, take one of their biggest villain brands and give the backstory on the villain. I thought that was great, because I actually watched a show called Gotham. I don't talk to you guys about this much, but there's a show called Gotham that I love that gives the backstory. If you ever, Jada Pinkett Smith, just so you know, is the best character in that Gotham series. She plays a character called Fish Mooney. I don't know if anybody else watches it or not, but you may want to check it out if you like that kind of stuff. And it gives you the backstory on the Penguin and stuff like that. And somebody says DC doesn't get any credit for this movie. Well, I thought DC. I mean, I assume DC has something to do with it, because isn't the Joker like a DC brand? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but either way though. The backstory on the villain I thought was really smart. And also on Gotham, I noticed that they don't mention the Joker hardly at all on Gotham. They allude to it a little bit. Like there's a character where you're like, that looks like he could be the Joker. But they don't really touch on the Joker much, because I felt like they were saving that for something big. They were going to save it for a season finale or saving it for a movie. And apparently they were saving it for a movie, because he's such a big brand, right? And branding is very, very important in all these characters, the Joker, the Penguin, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, are all worth hundreds of millions of dollars. They're all 100 billion, or maybe 100 million, 300 million, $500 million brands. I don't know how much, Wonder Woman's worth, or how much the Joker's brand is worth, but you can't go and use the Joker's, image without being sued to hell by DC, right? So branding is very important. And so when you have your ideas, when you build your businesses, make sure you think carefully about your brand. So anyway, they did a good job. The movie was really good, and also I happen to be marrying a therapist, which really creates kind of a fascinating post-movie dialogue, because she's seeing all these mental health issues popping up all throughout this movie. And the thing about it that's interesting is that that's what it was all about. Like, the Joker was crazy. If you know anything about Batman and all that, the Joker's known for just being out of his damn mind. And that is kind of the rolling theme. It's this guy who's, stressed out, angry white male who is, dealing with all this shit, hates his job, being disrespected, mistreated, and then the state cuts the funding, he can't get his medication. Next thing you know, he's the Joker. He's killing people and all that stuff, right? So here are a few things that I wanted to mention that I noticed in this movie that I thought were worth kind of discussing. On this channel, I see everything through the lens of blackness, but also I see the lens. Most importantly, I see everything through the lens of humanity, right? So you're human before you're black. So this may not be a completely black topic, but it's black enough, or black enough, as we like to say on the channel, that there are a lot of interesting angles to kind of discuss here. First of all, actually, before I move on, please hit the thumbs up button. If you haven't hit the thumbs up button, please hit the thumbs up button. Thank you, Naima, for telling people to hit the like button. Take 1 second. On the count of 3, everybody hit the thumbs up button, and also hit the notification bell. So ready? 1, 2, 3. Please hit the thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Hit that notification bell so that you will get notified when we go live. Please make sure you do that. All right. So here's the deal. All right. So first few things I picked up from this movie. One, most thugs are made in America. Most criminals are created in this country. Children are not born wanting to kill people, wanting to rob banks and whatever. When I was years ago, about 15 years ago, or maybe not 15, maybe about a decade ago, I was talking to my daughter, and one thing she said to me, she was my adopted daughter. I used to be her track coach when she was 9, and I just love her to death, and so she's been in my life ever since. And Anyway, I picked her up one day. She was really sad, and I said, "Why are you sad?" She told me that the little boy that her best friend used to babysit got shot in the head. And I said, "How did a little baby get shot in the head?" Well, what happened was the boy's mother, she was a single mom. She got into an argument with a neighbor. And the neighbor was one of those like wannabe thugs, at 19 years old, wore a wife beater, talked like, gold, mouthful of gold teeth, wanted to be a fake rapper or whatever. And he got pissed off. So he goes home and gets a gun and comes back and just starts firing the gun off inside the house, right? Just shooting at her house. And what he didn't know was that there were 8 little children playing inside the house. So one of the children got shot in the head, and his brain swelled up, and he was in the hospital for 3 days, and then he died. And I remember I was very sad, and when I heard that story, I cried. And I wasn't crying just for the baby. I was crying for both of those babies, right? Because when you get to my age, you can see a 19-year-old, and you know who that 19-year-old was 15 years ago. You know that 10, 15 years ago, he wasn't a killer. He wasn't a thug. He wasn't a gangster. He didn't want to hurt anybody. But something changed along the way, right? Something made him into a killer. Something, maybe when he reached out to the world, to lift him up, we tore him down, right? When he was looking for love, people fed him hate. When he was looking for acceptance, people gave him rejection. And in the movie, The Joker is kind of the same way, right? These thugs are made in America. Violent people, negative people, that harm other people are made in America because of the way society treats them. In fact, The Joker, well, it was fascinating. Through the movie, he would fantasize about being accepted. He fantasized about having a girlfriend who loved him. He fantasized about going on a show and being hugged and being adored by all these people, right? And he never got that. He was rejected. He was ridiculed. People thought he was a weirdo, and that led to him sort of feeling just like, okay, I don't fit in here, so I'm going to go create my own world where I do fit in. It spoke to the mental health crisis. I think the mental health crisis. Somebody said he was 19. He needs to take responsibility for his actions. I think he should take responsibility for his actions. Absolutely, no question about it. But everybody's made by something. I was shaped by what happened in my childhood. If I had a different childhood, I'd be a different person. So let's just be clear. I take full responsibility for the things I do in my life, good and bad. At this point, I'm 48 years old. But when I was 4, somebody, if they came along and molested me and beat me and robbed me and mistreated me, then I'd be a different person. That's what I'm saying, right? So we got to think about how we treat our children, how we raise them, because we create a lot of our thugs are made in America, right? Nobody teaches a little kid, a little kid is not born wanting to be a gangster, wanting to be a killer, wanting to be a robber. You have to put him in an experience that makes him feel that that's his only, way out. Even if it's not his only way out, he may feel that way. So moving on. Second thing was the mental health crisis in America. We tend to ignore mental health. We act like it's not real. We don't as a society, we don't put enough energy and resources into supporting our mental health system. And I think that the film was kind of a statement about that. And, because there was a point where he's going to see this therapist, and it's a Black lady. There are a lot of Black people in the movie. It's very weird. But he's going to see this lady, and she's, and she eventually says, "I'm sorry, the program got cut." And he's like, "Well, who do I talk to about my medication?" And right then that he's not going to get his medication. So he gets off his meds, and that's when he actually really starts acting, wilding out big time, right? Because then the delusions and everything else kind of go full circle. So, mental health matters. A lot of us have mentally ill people in our family. As a society, I think that we are a little too capitalist in the sense that we don't invest in these things, and it's going to cause us problems. The third thing I picked up on the film is that it sort of reflects how Hollywood views race. If you notice in this film, if you saw this film, you would notice, I couldn't help but notice, like I was saying, why are there so many Black people in the trailer? Why are there so many Black people in the movie? He tell you the first therapist was Black. The lady he's playing with a little boy on the bus. His mom was Black, and she's mean to him. She's like, "Stop playing with my son," right? So she's playing the angry Black woman role. Y'all know how Hollywood does us. Got us looking crazy half the damn time. And then the girlfriend that he really wants to be with is Black. The second therapist, the second social worker is Black. He ends up, spoiler alert, he ends up killing her. Who else was Black? Oh, there was another mental health professional who was Black. And then there was another Black dude and another Black person in there somewhere. I'm trying to remember where. But there were all these Black people. And it really made me think, that I really don't think that the fact that there were so many black people is disconnected from the fact that the film was a very dark, negative film. I really think that people see blackness as like dark, negative, outcast, marginalized, not part of the mainstream, rebellious, right? Like think about it. When white kids want to wild out and piss off their parents, what do? They go hang out with black people. Maybe they start dressing like their favorite rapper. They start living the thug life, even though they ain't never had no gangster experience in their life, right? But they do all that because black people, blackness, and all that black culture, hip hop culture, any of those cultures that are related is seen as a form of rebellion, right? Like in fact, in the movies, when something really gangster or bad happens, they start playing rap music, like right? Like so, I found it interesting that the film kind of reflected Hollywood's view of race, because I believe that if this film was a bright, happy, positive film, I don't think all those black people would have been in it. That's just my 2 cents. Also. Let me see. Oh, here's something really fascinating I picked up on. The film really shows the power of storytelling. Who gets in the Black Business School, one of the first books I have my students read is How the Jews Invented Hollywood. And I have them read that book, not because we're trying to be anti-Semitic. I have everyone read that book because I want you to understand how empires are built and how the Jewish community was intelligent enough to basically use filmmaking as a way to control the narrative of their own people and the narrative of the world, right? They don't just use it to reflect how you see the Jewish community. Y'all can't even say a negative word about the Jewish community or about Israel without them going off on your asses, right? But also, they use the filmmaking to push political agendas. Most films have an agenda, right? Like right now, the LGBT stuff is like big on their agenda. So they use filmmaking as a way to shape people's thinking about these issues, right? And so ultimately, this film kind of shows you that the person telling the story can make someone into a villain or a hero, depending on what they choose to do, right? Like, for example, in when I saw the Surviving R. Kelly documentary, I didn't like what I saw, not because I think R. Kelly's a good dude. I don't. I've had an issue with him since 2003, and I said that back then, and nobody was listening then. Thank God people are paying attention, because we got to protect our girls. But here's the deal. The people making that documentary, like Dream Hampton, for example, who made the documentary. If someone made a documentary about Dream, they could make Dream look equally bad. They could make Dream Hampton look really bad, because the only reason I knew about Dream Hampton is because of the things that people were saying to me about her, right? People were saying, like, to the point where I felt like, gosh, I don't want to be around her. I don't want to do any business with her, right? Because she's not known as an ethical person in the circles that I've been in the terms of the people that I've spoken with. And so, so a lot of times it's when they say the pot calling the kettle black, I don't like using that term because it sounds racial, but you get what I'm saying. A lot of times, who's telling the story can lead to you determining if somebody is a villain or a hero, depending on who tells the story, how they tell it. In fact, one way you can tell a lot of these documentaries are biased, any of them, whether it's the R. Kelly documentary or something else, is the fact that a lot of times when people have an agenda, they will give you one motherfucking side of the story. That's it. They will give you one side. Every person they bring on, they're not going to bring on people that are neutral. They're not going to bring on people that are fair. They're not going to bring on people that are, that are in favor, or they have something favorable to say about the person. They're going to bring on people that have negative things to say, right? Or if they want to paint a person in a positive light, they'll only bring on positive people that only have good things to say about them, right? So in this case, it's fascinating to me because in every other movie, every other Batman movie, when the Joker came up, there was nothing good about the Joker. There was never anything where people were like, oh yeah, the Joker's a good dude, I want to be like him. But this movie flipped the script. This movie used something, an important word, basically, called empathy. Empathy is one, among others, there are other words you can use. Empathy basically is where they tell you the backstory. They don't say Joker just shot up and killed a bunch of people. They say he shot up and killed these specific people for this specific reason, which led you to empathize with him to the point where he became the motherfucking hero. So you're like, how the hell does the Joker, who is a master criminal, a supervillain who's killed tons of innocent people, how does he become the hero? In fact, that's why people are afraid of the Joker movie. That's why they're like, oh my God, we can't put this out, because what it does is it actually it actually justifies and it leads you to empathize with mass shooting kinds of people, with people who become mass shooters, right? Because the Joker didn't just kill anybody. Everybody that got killed in the Joker movie, you can argue easily that they had it coming, including his own mama, right? I'm not trying to tell you all everything that happened in the movie, but the people he killed in that movie, every time it happened, you were like, okay, I understand why he killed him and didn't kill him, right? Because the Joker didn't just kill anybody and everybody. He didn't kill innocent people. He didn't kill people that hadn't done so. He killed motherfuckers who had it coming, who basically had done some shit to him, you know, and tried to harm him, right? So that leads you to empathize. It's kind of like how they did the Cardi B thing, right? Why is Cardi B, even though Cardi B drugged and violated men in a similar way to how Bill Cosby drugged and violated women. You know, she didn't personally rape the men, but many of the men were raped, right? According to the story that Cardi B herself told, right? So she drugged and violated men. Bill Cosby drugged and violated women, right? Why is Cardi B seen as a hero and Bill Cosby seen as a villain? Why is Cardi B being played on repeat by your 7-year-old child and Bill Cosby sitting in a jail cell? Well, a lot of it is because of the way the story is told. There is, with Cardi B, they made that movie Hustlers, where they show women who are drugging and violating men, either violating their pockets or violating them in other ways. And because women don't usually take sex, right? When a woman that violates a man usually will take his money, right? Because men, men will offer you the sex for free, right? So the money typically is what happens, what gets taken, and so they make the movie Hustlers, in which they don't just lighten the psychological load of somebody drugging and violating another person, but they, in terms of sort of making it, I want to say mainstream, but they sort of almost make it like it's not a big deal. Like they reduce the sting of it all by kind of saying, haha, this is funny, let's just make a movie about it. But also they give you empathy with the characters. They give you the backstory. They say, well, she didn't just drug and rob this guy for no reason. She did it because he was a bad person. The Joker. She didn't just drug and rob this dude because she's a horrible person. She did it because she had just lost her job and it was a recession. Right? The Joker, right? She didn't just drug and rob these dudes because she wants to just harm people. She did it because, her baby was sick and she needed medication and couldn't afford the medication otherwise. The Joker, right? Same thing happened in the Joker. The Joker, when he took somebody out, it was because somebody had done him wrong, or because he had been through some shit, or people were mistreating him and people were hurting his feelings. Somebody beat him up for no reason and life wasn't fair. So you're watching and you're saying, oh, well, if I was going through that, I probably wouldn't do the same thing, but I can understand why he would do it, right? So ultimately, basically, if you want to justify bad behavior, you just create a narrative where you align empathy with the person's behavior. If they told the backstory publicly of every single person who went to prison, almost nobody would go to prison. Everybody be getting a hug and a Bible and a birthday cake like Amber Geiger, right? Because they'd be like, oh, well, and that's what they do with white females versus, say, black males. But when Tyrone walks up in somebody's apartment and pops their ass, it's like, oh, he must have been doing something bad. He's a bad person. He's a criminal. He's not human, right? But when Miss Sally, aka Amber Geiger, breaks in a man's apartment and shoots him in cold blood, it's like, oh, well, it's because she made a mistake. Oh, it's because she don't know. Oh, she's frantic. Oh, she needs forgiveness. She needs a hug. Somebody give her some ice cream, right? Like that it's a very different way of kind of viewing things based on who's telling the story and how much empathy is created, right? So people create empathy for white females in the criminal justice system. They don't create empathy for black males, which is why black males are more likely to go to prison than black females. When people create empathy for you, what they're doing is they're humanizing you, and you're connecting with them human to human, and therefore you're not necessarily condemning them for their actions, right? That's why the Joker was a fascinating movie, because I'm like, shit, they just made the Joker into the hero. What the fuck? So anyway, do me a favor, please hit the thumbs up button. If you haven't hit the thumbs up button, please hit the thumbs up button. Hit the share and subscribe button. Also hit the notification bell so you will be notified when we go live. My Instagram, what's up, Faye Bishop? Good to see you, sister. Hit me up. You should come on the channel at some point. We'll find some shit to talk about, because I just love Faye Bishop. Faye's super smart, super cool, and super awesome. Reminds me of why black women are the greatest women in the world. And also, by the way, if you guys want to know about my book. I don't talk about it much, but I actually have a book called The New Black Power. So feel free. It's actually a series. So there's a part 1, part 2, part 3. So if you want to check out any of my books, there are 2 series, The New Black Power and also Black American Money. So there's a part 1, part 2, and part 3 of each of those books. So feel free to go to drboycebooks.com. That's drboycebooks.com. So if you ever want to get inside my head and empathize with my Joker-like behavior, then feel free to go to drboycebooks.com. All right. So anyway, so let's move on. All right. So don't forget, hit that thumbs up button. What else do I have? I made a list. Y'all can't even read it. See that? It's chicken scratch, right? Y'all can't read it, right? But that's my secret code language. That's how I write like a maniac, so nobody will be able to read my writing. Number 5, the next thing I noticed is that, all cultures tend to have a counterculture, right? That emerges as a result of people sort of being forced into that particular culture. So what I observed in this film was that you kind of had these wealthy people who kind of said that, this is the way you're supposed to live. This is what you're supposed to do. This is our system. This is how things are supposed to go. And the Joker is a natural immersion of that as a leader of the counterculture, of the people who say, fuck that. I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to live that way. I don't want to be, I don't want to be part of your mainstream culture. I want to be something different. And I thought about that, and that led me to kind of empathize with the Joker, not to the point where I want to kill people. I don't want to kill nobody. I ain't trying to carry around that kind of hate. But I was sort of like, interesting. So in a way, I remember being younger and feeling like, when I try to play by the rules, it doesn't work out. When I try to fit into the white man's system, it doesn't work out. When I work hard and do my best and try to be a good person, then I get kicked around. So I said, I think I'm going to hop out and kind of just go into my own space, go into my own lane. I'm going to embrace the counterculture, right? I'm going to go back to my people, and we're going to connect, and we're going to figure out how to create our own power base that is not connected to this bullshit that's out here, right? So you guys will hear me talk all the time that, I am that I'm not a fan of mainstream media. I'm not a fan of mainstream politics. I'm not a fan of mainstream hardly anything, because I don't have a lot of faith in it. But who knows? Maybe if I'd lived a different life where I was embraced by all of that, then maybe I wouldn't have become the Joker, right? Because when I was at Syracuse University, that's kind of what I was. I was so frustrated and so pissed off and so annoyed that I was being mistreated for no reason that I was like, you know what, fuck all of y'all. I'm gonna burn down this whole goddamn place if I have to, because you're not gonna do this to me, right? And the thing is, now that's bad energy to carry, right? That's not healthy energy, right? That's why I had to get away from that. I got away from that and really had to recenter myself, but I didn't go out without a fight. I mean, I went hard, and so I think that it's kind of I guess it's a natural thing. Like, there's always going to be a counterculture for the most part. But also, I think that the black man in America, to some extent, is a little bit like the Joker, except without the violence, right? Most black men are not violent. Most black men ain't going to shoot nobody. Most black men are not going to go and do harm to anyone. I think self-defense is okay, but outside of that, I don't think that's appropriate. But at the same time, I think that there's something to be said about, just everybody getting to a point where they just don't give a fuck. And when I've always heard somebody say, or I remember hearing somebody say a long time ago, that the most dangerous man in the room is the man who has nothing to lose, right? The man who just says, fuck it, I don't care, is the one that you need to watch out for, because at that point he's released all the baggage that comes with conformity. And actually, it's quite liberating. If you notice, even in that film, when he really just started just embracing his craziness and not being passive anymore, not being a victim anymore, watch out, because he's like, okay, I have a gun now, and I ain't scared to use it. I didn't even want a gun in the beginning. He was given a gun. He didn't even want the damn gun. Right? He's like, no, I don't, what am I going to do with this gun, Artie? Right? And then next thing you know, he's like, shit, I was like this, pop, right? So ultimately, in a way, I kind of identify with that. Not that I want to be the Joker. I want to make that 100% clear. But I was like, sounds like he feels liberated. And he starts dancing. He's doing these creepy dances. And he's like, look at me. I got a clown face. And I'm the shit. I'm out here. People like me for who I am. Oh my God, I've never had that before, right? And I was like, oh my God, I told Alicia, I said, she's a therapist, so she goes all up in my head all the time. I'll be like, am I identifying with the Joker? Because there was a time where I was, as a black man, I felt like a square peg in a round hole. There was a time where I would go into my my white office with all these white people and feel so out of place and feel like annoyed and pissed off. I'm like, why are y'all trying to fire me on my day off? Why am I being like mistreated just because of who I am? Like, who I am should be okay. And then one day I hit my lowest point where it just like similar to this movie. I've been kicked around, mistreated, abused. Like, at least I felt that way. That was what I saw. That was what I felt. I was 28 years old. I remember 28 and a half years old. That's when it happened. And I was like, I'm going to be the Joker. There's nothing wrong with being Boyce Watkins. Boyce Watkins is, maybe he's an outcast because he's a black man. Maybe there's something wrong with me because I believe in ideas that might be seen as radical to the rest of the world. But I'm going to love this guy and embrace him, and I'm going to just go out. And if you fuck with me, I'm going to take your ass out because now I've got nothing to lose and I'm not scared of you anymore, right? So I think in a way it was kind of interesting. Like when I saw this man doing this, I was like, damn, like he's liberated, he's feeling free. And I think that in that particular case, it wasn't a good thing, because a lot of times when we reject people and mistreat people, which is actually my next point, then it can come back to haunt you, right? So I think that the next point I picked up on this film is that you just got to watch how you treat people. I think in general, when you talk about mass shooters or people that are bullied, you got to watch how you treat people. Not everybody's gonna let you make them the victim forever. Like, so if you're a man, you got a good woman, watch how you treat your woman, because she might sit there and let you get away with that shit. She might let you, cuss her out every Tuesday. She might let you, call her dirty, nasty names. She might allow you to even punch her in the face once or twice. But there might be a day where she just says, you know what, fuck this, right? And there's where she just reclaims her power and decides that she is going to make your life a living hell. I remember when I was a kid, anybody else in the room, anybody else not afraid to admit that you got bullied as a kid? Did anybody else get bullied a little bit? I think I personally believe a lot of people got bullied. Even tough people get bullied, because there's always somebody bigger. You're 11, he's 14. Anybody else in the room, give me a shout out in the chat if you were ever bullied or witness somebody being bullied or connected to that process. Anybody else get bullied? Because I got bullied. And let me tell you about what happened when I got bullied and how this relates to this story. I'm not just yapping. I'm actually telling you something that's relevant here. I remember there were actually two incidents, but I remember one in particular where this boy was like constantly messing with me, constantly fucking with me, just every day, just fucking with me. And I would sit there and I would just kind of sit back and let him do whatever, because I was actually like kind of scared of him. And I just kind of felt like, I don't know, I guess I didn't respond because I just wasn't made like that. I wasn't a kid that felt like fighting every day at school, and one day I came in and he just caught me on the wrong day. I don't know if anybody else ever had a day like that, where you just literally are like, you know what? Some shit's about to be resolved today. Like, it may end with me going down. It may end with you going down. But either way, I'm ready to roll the dice. And he just came in, he messed with me on the wrong day. And I did something that was completely out of character. You know what I did? I'm not kidding. I picked up a desk because I was strong. I was on the track team. I was lifting weights every day. I picked up a desk that the kids sit in. I picked up the desk and slammed the desk on his head, and just started pummeling on this guy, because it was something like something had built up inside of me, and the rage was so overwhelming that I couldn't take responsibility for what was going to happen at that point. It was like another person came out, and people were like, Boyce did that? What? Boyce? It's like, yeah, because Boyce was tired of the bullshit. And I think that it kind of, and he regretted that, right? I mean, I messed him up pretty good. And it's kind of like, I think in general, you got to watch how you treat people. I encourage you to always be kind to everyone if you can. I mean, some people just, they haven't earned your kindness, in the sense that they if they're mean and disrespectful, you ain't got to be nice to those people. But, if somebody seems like they're less powerful than you, or maybe They, you can't, some people are only nice to people when they can get something from them, or when they, or when they somehow see the person as being important and powerful and meaningful, and they kind of shit on everybody else. I don't believe you should do that. I would encourage you to just know the importance of always treating everyone fairly. If not do it for, to do it for the right reasons, because it's a decent thing to do, then at least do it because it can come back and bite you in the ass if you fuck with the wrong person. Because there's a lot of people that have these triggers inside of them, they, and myself included, they have something in there where they're like, okay, keep messing with me, man, it's about to be a problem. And I personally just think that I've seen a lot of people go down. I mean, I've seen people get murdered because they kept bullying somebody, was messing with somebody. And I would just say that it's probably because bullying is very traumatic, and so in this movie, the Joker was bullied, that stress of being bullied and mistreated by the world led him to become a person to be feared, right? So I would just say be careful about how you treat people. In fact, a lot of school shooters and mass shooters were bullied, and they were bullied by people who thought, well, you ain't gonna do shit. You know what I mean? And I would say that, if we treated people differently, better in this world, if we treated people with kindness, I think that a lot of this crazy stuff wouldn't happen as much. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, some people are just crazy. Ain't nothing you can do about it, right? But when you go back to the original school shooting, the biggest one ever, the one that set off a whole change in terms of how we deal with everything from school security to everything else. What was that? It was Columbine. Anybody remember Columbine? Anybody remember Columbine? Well, Columbine went down because two guys were bullied and they just had enough. And they said, oh, you ain't gonna bully us no more. In fact, you're gonna remember our names for forever, right? We about to set it off of in his mug. And the thing is, some people will write that off as just complete insanity. Like, why would violence is insane? Why would you do that? And I'm not going to say that there wasn't a mental health issue there, but here's the thing: violence is everywhere. Vengeance is everywhere. When the United States got attacked in 9/11, first thing they was thinking about was how can we go over and murder as many motherfuckers as we can? Like, let's just be real. Let's just be clear, right? So let's stop acting like people that do things to other people in retaliation or response are always just crazy mentally ill people. Sometimes they just done had enough. They're just like, you're not gonna do this to me anymore, and I'm about to show you why this ain't gonna happen no more. I'm not advocating for that. If you ever feel that way, feel the urge to be violent toward another person, I encourage you to not pursue that, because it ain't gonna work well for you. But at the end of the day, we live in a violent world, and we know this, right? So anyway, so those are the thoughts that I had about the Joker movie. I don't even know. I said 7 things, but maybe I mentioned 8. I don't know. But I put 7 things in the title. But one other final point that I noticed was, I'm a financial guy, right? My PhD's in finance. So I tend to notice how money shapes everything. And money was a consistent theme all throughout the Joker movie, right? Money was a thing in terms of his job. He hated his job. He's being mistreated. But part of his stress came from the fact that they fired him from his job, and he didn't have enough money to pay bills, right? Money was a theme in the sense that you had rich people at the top who felt that because they had money, they had the ability to allow their greed to lead them to look down on other people and feel that they have the right and the ability to control other people, right? And that led to class warfare. So basically, the Joker emerged kind of as almost like a violent Malcolm X version of a violent Malcolm X-like figure for those who felt marginalized, downtrodden, and disrespected. Because there's actually a point where one of the rich people says, oh, well, all these people who are doing these things, they're just a bunch of clowns. So all the people, the protesters, basically started putting on clown masks, and they all wore clown masks and were going through the city attacking rich people. So this was class warfare instigated from the arrogance of the rich, of the 1%. And also a lot of the Joker's mental health issues were triggered by the stress that came from losing his job, right? And not having financial security. So a lot of times, the things that you have inside of you that could cause you to go crazy and do stuff that you would normally never do, that's already inside of you. Like whether it's something genetic or otherwise, and a lot of times it's the environment that triggers you. into becoming that person. There's something that happens that causes you to sort of awaken that part of you that might not be there. Just like, for example, when I wasn't a violent kid, but that it was always inside of me. I was always ready to pop something off because I wasn't scared. I wasn't no punk. And and he triggered me. And when he triggered me, it was a wrap, right? So ultimately, I think that that money is an interesting thing in the sense that it can change people's psychology. It can shape how you deal with the world, how you feel about yourself, how you feel about other people. And I encourage everybody on this platform to become a wealth builder. Go out here, make $1 trillion. Go out here and do it for your community. Get rich, get paid, be successful. But don't get into this idea or this false temptation to believe that having money makes you better than other people. Money has power. The power of money should be used to lift people up, not put people down, not run around. You ever see people take those pictures of themselves in front of the Mercedes and they put the hashtag blessed, like I'm so blessed today, right? When really they're just trying to floss, trying to stunt, trying to show off for other people. I'm not a fan of any of that, right? You don't really see me do any of that. I don't even show you guys. I mean, I'm not a broke person. I make money. I can do what I want to do for the most part, but I'm not one that's out here trying to make you feel bad about your life because I might have more money than you. I think at the end of the day, that arrogance eventually catches up with you. And I think that was another reason the counterculture emerged, is because you had wealthy people basically feeling that because I have money, I can just treat anybody any old kind of way. I can ignore. There's a point that the Joker made in the film several times about being unseen. And basically that was, I think, a result of wealthy and powerful people feeling like we don't have to see poor people, right? Poor people don't exist. They don't matter. And because when the Wall Street bankers in the film got killed, everybody saw that. Everybody responded to that. Like, oh my God, what a tragedy. This is terrible. But he said, my dead body could have been laid out on the street right in front of you and you would have stepped right over me. Right. And that led to him becoming the person in the room who didn't give a fuck, who was going to go and say, you're going to see me. You're going to see me. So I encourage you to see everybody, no matter what your economic situation happens to be. I think it's just a fundamental rule of decency. And I encourage you guys to just consider that. I'm not telling you what to do. I just want to give you my thoughts, my honest, raw thoughts as far as seeing the film. In conclusion, I recommend the movie. It's good. It's solid. It's well done. I thought it was one of the better movies I've seen. Alicia loved it because she's a therapist and that's her thing. And I think you're going to enjoy it. So anyway, please hit the thumbs up button, share, and subscribe button before you go. Just as a reminder, I'll be in New York doing an investment seminar on October 27th. So if you want to come out, go to drboycenewyork.com. That's drboycenewyork.com. You'll be in the room with a lot of other Black wealth builders. If you want to participate in the elevator pitch competition, you can pitch your business, and somebody in that room may like it and say, hey, can I talk to you? I'd like to partner with you or invest in you or whatever. And we're going to actually show you how to build an economy out of a small group of people that will allow you to pursue your dreams and get financing and make things happen. So feel free to check it out, drboycenewyork.com. Also, if you want to check out my books, this book or any other, you can go to drboycebooks.com. We got a lot of stuff in there. We have financial flashcards for children and financial workbooks we created for Black children, just all kinds of stuff. But feel free to go to drboycebooks.com. So hit the thumbs up button, share, and subscribe. Also, make sure you hit the notification bell so you will be notified when we go live. I want to say goodbye to everybody. Also on Instagram, the Instagram is The Real Boyce Watkins. We always set it off every day on that channel. This is not, I don't waste my platforms on bullshit. My platforms are designed to get people to think about themselves and your life and either how you want to make your life better or how you want to just see the world in a different way. So I'm always a teacher. That's what I do. And that's in case you want to know my background. In case you don't know, I was a finance professor at a lot of different universities over about a 25-year period. So I'm always a teacher for life. I can't change that. That's just who I am, right? But it's not because I think I know more than you or I'm better than you. It's really just me saying, let's all just become thinking people. Black people should be thinking. We should not just be sitting here as drones and dummies and just sucking up whatever the hell people put in front of us, because a lot of what people put into your brain is bullshit. So control that space. That's very important for you. So take care, guys. Have a good day. I love you, and I'll see you soon. Be good. Peace.